Welcome back, episode 4 of the TechQ&A. This is the most consistent that I've ever been in any video series that I've made, and today we're going to be back doing some more of your questions. This week though, I've been a bit busy this morning, so I've not had a chance to hand pick these questions out. So Alex, our cameraman and social media wizard, has been kind enough to do it for us. So I'm going to start off. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions, maybe 11. So this question was posted on a Samsung A13 charging port video, a nice video. It's from Repair Smartphone FR, so I'm guessing this man might be French. Nice video. I was wondering, why don't you unplug the battery? I thought it's recommended to do it on any repair on an electronic device. So it is a very good idea, and the purpose of disconnecting the battery, I know what happens here. So this Samsung A13 is a very, very basic phone. We remove the back cover, and then you've got access to the charging port on the very bottom there. The phone had not got any power in it anyway, so the only reason that you disconnect the battery from a device is because you want to isolate power, so you don't cause any short circuits anywhere. But if there's no power in the device, why we're disconnecting a battery? It's just an extra step, an extra few minutes that's not necessary, so we don't need to do that on that particular model. Moving on. Google Pixel 6 Pro screen replacement and fingerprint sensor repair from SM6898. This is so helpful. I had my screen replaced and the shop had no clue where my fingerprint option had gone. I tried to do what you said to do the recalibration, but it says it couldn't connect to my phone. Any advice, please? I think we covered this last week on the previous video. You need to make sure that you're using a very good cable, either the original cable that came with your device or one that allows power delivery, I think is the important thing. So it needs to be a good cable to make it work when you're recalibrating fingerprint on the Google Pixel series. Interestingly, we had a Motorola what needed recalibration earlier this week, and we had to use this little recalibration block. It absolutely pecked Nathan's head, and then it came to my desk and it pecked my head for about half an hour until we managed to do it, and it was just awkward. But maybe I'll do a video on that in the future. Samsung A53 screen replacement guide, step by step. Okishisune? I don't know. I'm terrible at saying these names. Please, what is the name of the tools you use to remove the battery? A suction cup. On Samsungs, if the battery is big enough or wide enough, then you can get one of those big suction cups on there, drop some alcohol underneath it, use some heat, and then you can just peel it off, and it's really, really easy. It means you don't have to use any prying tools. And like we discussed previously, the lady or man who set the phone or the house on fire, when they tried to pry up a battery using metal tools, it's no good. Avoid prying tools and just use a suction cup to remove batteries from Samsung devices, especially the A series. You can use them on iPhones as well. You just need a smaller suction cup, that's all. On my very popular video of the quiet or muffled ear speaker hack, so that's the one where we drop alcohol into the ear speaker. I'll talk about that again next week probably, but Xgrapher says, unfortunately, mine got worse even though it looks much cleaner. Sometimes people can flood it. If you watch the video again, then you'll see that I only add a couple of drops of alcohol at a time. That's so that we're not flooding that ear speaker, because it is easy for it to go too far. We want surface tension, so physics. We're talking about science here. Physics, right? Add 1 or 2 drops of isopropyl alcohol, it'll sit on the surface. It's not too heavy that it's going to start soaking through that ear speaker mesh, and then the sound is going to make a frequency that's going to push it outwards rather than letting alcohol or any liquids get into that ear speaker, what will make it worse. So just 1 to 2 drops at a time just to clean it out. 1 to 2 drops, brush it off, then add another couple of drops once the other stuff's evaporated. Remember that isopropyl alcohol will evaporate very quickly, so 1 to 2 drops at a time is plenty. Let it evaporate, carry on. Step-by-step Samsung S9 battery replacement walkthrough. Richard NB says, my favourite part is where he tells us to bring the suction cup, but then he uses a razor blade. Yes, sometimes I will record things and I'll say one thing and then I pick up a different tool. Sometimes we forget to edit what we're saying and we change things. Generally, razor blades, suction cups, and they will help to remove things. I apologise if I said the wrong word or if the wrong action was taken from what I said. I'm only human. My apologies. Thank you for being so observant, Mr. Richard NB. You're the best. So going back to one of the questions on the previous clinic video, episode 2, question for episode 3, sorry, so the way this works, I usually film these on a Monday morning and then they go out on a Sunday morning. So sometimes I miss a question what might be on the previous video, so apologies. So this says question for episode 3, but it's actually question for episode 4. Can you teach me how to fix phones? Also, can I come on a podcast, please? So this is from Timothy Field 8327. Timothy Field, I hope you're well. I've not spoken to you for a long time since you disappeared off the face of the planet. But if you want teaching how to fix phones, I'm sure you could come up and do a podcast and we can do some learning. Although I'm sure you've got more to teach me than I have to teach you. Final, I think, no, I've got 2 more questions. Moving on. The Fiesta Guy 8831. I'm not sure what video this has been posted on because the screenshot, what I've got, doesn't show it. But I thought the whole point of soldering the BMS was to avoid the error message. Why do you need the tag on flex to be connected first before removing it? I assume if you solder the BMS to the new battery but don't add the tag on flex, it will still show error message. So, wrong. You're wrong. If you solder the BMS onto a new battery, so a new cell, so you remove the old BMS, put it onto a new cell, solder it down or spot weld it down, depending whichever way you look at it. Right, I can't see which video that this one is on, but at the Fiesta Guy 8831 says, I thought the whole point of soldering the BMS was to avoid the error message. Why do you need the tag on flex to be connected first before removing it? I assume if you solder the BMS to the new battery, but don't add the tag on flex, it will still show the error message. Right, that's wrong. The way that this works is you cut off the original BMS from the original battery and then you spot weld it onto a new cell. Once it's onto that new cell, the BMS still thinks that it's on the same percentage as before, so it won't show anything different. The tag on flex then reprograms the battery when you plug it in, first by tricking it into the unknown part message, and then it reprograms it so you get to the 100%, and then you remove the tag on flex and it remains on 100%. That's the way that it works. It seems a bit backwards, and there's a few people what's saying that there's problems in using it on 17.4, so this technique might go all out of the window in the next couple of weeks, and we might have to do a new video, or there might be new techniques on how to reset this. But generally, if you just swap the battery, the BMS onto a new cell, then you'll just get the same percentage as you did before. Moving on. There were more questions. There weren't 2 questions left. We've got loads left. Stick around. Samsung S22 Ultra front screen replacement. They've done this on a phone I just bought. Since if pushed, games or benchmarks run and heat up. Screen not coming on. Can hear clicking. Even fingerprint work, just no screen. Have to wait a bit to cool down, then everything okay, or sometimes restart. What they missed while changing screen. 8 Peter P. I've got no idea. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe English isn't your first language, but I've really struggled reading that. But it sounds like there may be a problem with your screen replacement. Take it back to who did it. You've put they, what they missed while changing the screen. Whoever they are, take it to they. iPhone SE 2020 screen replacement guide. Luke Mialik, your tactics suck. It just broke my phone. I will sue you for 35k. Well, how do you get 35 grand? The phone is literally worth 500 quid. So 35 grand, unless you're charging like £34,500 per hour and you charge it, billing me for the time that it's taken, where do you get that number from? I don't know. Luke Mialik, I think it's a you problem more than a me problem. Moving on. Oh, so, yeah, Nathan fucking put Where's Wally in the last video and thought that I didn't see it. I just didn't react to it. Not funny. I'm joking. If you're replacing the screen for an iPhone 11, is it worth going for in-cell or just basic LCD? Cheers. In-cell, it doesn't really matter. I think, if anything, the original screen on the iPhone 11 comes with the digitizer on top of the LCD. So it doesn't matter if it's in-cell or not. I think the ones that we use are in-cell. In-cell is usually better, but originals are better in this case. So it doesn't really matter. What you need to do, if you're offering this as a service, the way that we work it is we try loads of different LCDs. And when when another supplier got a new LCD out, we'll try it out, we'll test it. And a lot of the time you'll find that a lot of suppliers will send you samples to try when they've got a new screen out, and you can test them out and you can give them their feedback, and sometimes the suppliers will even listen to your feedback and make changes to the next version of that. So it's always good. I'm sure if you went to a supplier and you were buying from them regular and you said, look, I've seen these screens, I wanted to give them a try, they'll probably send you one for free. So just give it a try. Most suppliers will definitely try and entice you in with a freebie. They're like drug dealers selling heroin. Anyway, talking about suppliers, 80s Kid 83 says, replace base battery, any good? So I use the X-Cap batteries from Replace Base. So they're not technically Replace Base batteries. I think they're from another American supplier, what's not Mobile Centrics. I always forget what the other one's called. There's two like big suppliers in America, Mobile Centrics and Injured Gadgets. And they make the X-Cap batteries. The X-Cap ones are always really good. I use them for iPad Pro models. They do like a high capacity iPad battery, and they seem to be the best battery at the minute for me for iPad batteries. The X-Cap core ones, or whatever they're called, the ones without the BMS attached, I had problems with them. I had a few of them what were no good. They just didn't do the job properly. One of them swelled, well, two iPhone XS ones swelled up, and yeah, they just weren't good enough, and I didn't use them again. But if you're after batteries, send me a message or send me an email, and I will answer. Let me know what battery you're after, and I will answer you in email because it's not very specific. But Oli@idoctoruk.com, if you ever want to DM me, private message me, you can get me on. I'm not going to give you my number, but you can Oli@idoctoruk.com me, and I will try and answer all my fan mail. It's not really fan mail, just questions. It's always questions. So send me an email and I'll answer your questions. But if it's something that you're not afraid to ask, leave it below and I will answer it in the comments below, and blah, blah, blah. You know what to do by now. We're on episode 4. You already know what time it is. It's time to leave me a comment and watch another repair video because I'm getting out of here. Thank you for watching and see you next time.